I can get a quorum. Watch it, watch it. We're getting ready for final vote for casino gambling. Come on up to the committee. Was it yes or no?
So Shonda helped me, so I'm going to read it.
Okay. Okay, we do have, before I set what a quorum is, I would like to recognize Senator Roberts, who has something he'd like to share with the committee and anyone in earshot.
Guys, we had 2 Shelby County deputies shot about 45 minutes ago doing a welfare check. One hit his vest, bounced off. The other one, it caught him on his side. So he's in surgery right now, being taken care of. And just, could we have a moment and just say a quick prayer for them?
I think that'd be fine. Thank you,
sir.
Senator.
Father, we give you our guys in blue who constantly protect and defend us. And in particular, we give you these Shelby County deputies right now and ask that you would go with them. Pray for healing for the one that's injured and wisdom in his care, and bless their families. And Father, go with all those who protect us every day. And we ask this in Christ's name. Amen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So for purposes of this quadrennium, as long as I am chair, I'd like to set a quorum at 8. We've got 16 members, so that will be 50%. We won't do 50 plus 1. We'll do 8 because many times we're challenged on a quorum. Senator Albritton has the same problem with general fund, with a large group and then multiple committee meetings and whatnot. So 8 will be our magic number for the year. That being said, will the clerk call the roll for attendance, please?
Senator Albritton, Senator Butler, Senator Chastain, Senator Figures, Senator Gudger, Senator Hatcher, Senator Hovey, Senator Melson, Senator Roberts, Senator Schofield, Senator Sessions, Senator Singleton, Senator Smitherman, Senator Wagner, Senator Allen, Senator Orr.
All right, we appreciate the good attendance today. The next thing I'd like to welcome Senator Allen as the co-chair of this august committee. I appreciate your willingness to serve, and
stay well.
I know Auburn will be in good shape throughout his tenure as vice chair. He's promised to be very equitable in his input on the 2 flagships. That being said, let me give you some preliminary comments. I would like to make some comments at the conclusion of this meeting to get you all thinking about where we are, where I see us, and what I need in return from you all going forward. And if you can stay to the end, I'd appreciate it. The reason we are taking up these 3 bills, they won't be on a soon-to-be special order. I wanted to go ahead and get them moved out, these 3 particular tax cut bills, and kind of get them at least through the committee process, get you all thinking. But I also just wanted to have a reason to have you all together for a short meeting to kind of talk about the budgets and where we're headed. So in some sense, they're an excuse to get your smiling faces. That being said, clerk, call the first bill, please.
Senate Bill 47 by Senator Orr.
All right, this is a bill that would remove the taxation at the 2% rate, and it will, that is taxed on the first $500 of income. I think when you have a child, let's say a teenager out mowing yards, and they incur a state tax liability with their first earnings that they may be making, it gets a bit much. I would like to, over time, see us bump this on up. There's rates north of there before we get 5%, but certainly the cost gets more expensive. We do have an amendment on SB 47 just regarding the years. And at this time, I will offer the amendment if there is a second. Second, Senator Allen has seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? My understanding it changes the years. Mr. Fulford was behind me, or Ms. Stallworth.
It changed the start date. Tax year 2023 is already started. And so you can't retroact, you don't need to retroactively change the forms and everything that they've already got in place. This starts next.
Mr. Chairman, I will, I know we got the experts stand up there. If you don't mind, unless you want to come back up, don't sit down. I got another question for you. I hate to do you like that. Tell this, I just want a short version. I mean, I know the chairman, is presenting it out there. What this bill gonna do? I mean, the inside. I ain't talking about the synopsis. And I've heard about that part, but inside this bill, what is it going to change and what is going to adjust it? All that kind of stuff.
Going to eliminate. First $500 is tax free if this bill passes.
Okay, and what
for an
else?
Individual.
What else happened after that? Different. I mean, different than what's happening now. You ain't got to tell me no history about what stuff.
We've got a tiered income tax system. We have a 2% rate, a 4% rate, a 5% rate. This bill eliminates the 2% rate. 2% rate applies to anything earned at $500. So you would not have a 2% rate anymore if this bill passes.
But when you said 2%, I'm getting this is educating me. I want you to understand that. So don't.
First 500 of income is subject to a 2%.
Right now. But 550 is still subject to 2% at 4%. So over 500, it goes to 4%. That's current law. So
And that's what over time, maybe we can work towards that.
I see where you're coming from now. Okay, that's all. I just wanted to understand what we were dealing with. Okay.
Senator Melson.
Just to be clear, it's after the 500, the
Next 500, 501, you're at 400. Right.
to make 2,500.
You see the fiscal note on the bill. This is, I believe, the most expensive, if you will, to the budget of the three before you today, 24.2 million. So it's a considerable amount, but one I believe we can shoulder.
I just got a question.
Senator Smith.
And I got both budget chairs in here, so that's a good question, although we in your meeting. Is that I want to look around this room for a minute before I said something. I'm looking in here. Senator Butler, as I said, that's why I had to look around this room. What happened to the fact that when we gave tax cuts, that we identified adjoining revenue from somewhere else? If you remember, that's the rules that was in the whole legislature, that if you give a tax cut, because you don't want to reduce your revenue, you will find corresponding revenue. And I'm not talking about the fluff revenue where we in good times. It was based on when we wouldn't be in good times, when we was talking about replacing revenue as it's your base revenue, like you get a base salary and you sell somewhere, you get commissions. What we doing, we making decision on the commission money because we got getting more. But when commissions run down, we back at base money where we should have the revenue to correspond with what we giving away, because it ain't gonna be there what we giving away anymore. I mean, it's I would love to think the rest of our lives we go keep getting all this money, but it just in reality it just don't happen that way. So I'm talking to everybody in here because we've gotten so happy. We giving away, cut this and do that we ain't giving thought to when we get back to baseline, that what we gonna do for revenue to replace, because we've taken a chunk out the baseline by giving out the profit as if profits is gonna be there all the time, And so we won't have a deficit in baseline. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there to y'all. Y'all need to start talking about that in y'all caucus. I mean, I'm just saying what it is, because you all bringing these things to us. You really need to have some serious discussions about how we gonna handle that. And and if y'all need a guest speaker, I'll be glad to come and be the guest speaker in your caucus. Just have some dessert.
That's the reason I wanted to put these before the committee to consider. Like I said, they won't be on a special order anytime soon, if at all. I want them out in the mix. There may be, you all may have other ideas, receptive. I think there is an appetite to do, we can afford some level, but we can't lose control either. So putting these out there for you because I wanted to see you and I wanted to see the committee. The amendment's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion on the amendment, the timing? All right, clerk, call the first roll, please.
Senator Albritton, Senator Butler, Senator Justine, Senator Figures, Senator Gudger, Senator Hatcher, Senator Hovey, Senator Melson, Senator Roberts, Senator Schofield, Senator Sessions, Senator Singleton, Senator Smitherman,
Aye.
Senator Wagner, Senator Allen, Senator Orr.
All right, 15 ayes, 0 nays. The amendment is adopted. We're on the bill. Is there a motion, or I'll move it? Melson
Second.
moved, Senator Gudger seconded. Any discussion? Any objection to the previous roll? All right, seeing none, 15 ayes, 0 nays. Bill's given a favorable report. Clerk, call the next bill.
Senate Bill 48 by Senator Orr.
All right, so this one also has an amendment related to timing. It is a phase-in, so the reason for this bill, and over time, it can become expensive. Now we got unanimous attendance. Thank you, Senator Singleton.
Yay.
I got all 16 here. The reason for this is as people look across the country for areas to retire, Senator Roberts has been a real champion about our income tax structure and those matters. This would reduce our top rate over time down to 4.95%. You see the phase in, what it would cost. It's about $10 to $12 million a year. The phase in that is projected for this legislation over a 5-year period. Senator Smitherman.
Mr. Chairman,
Sir.
I want to ask a question regarding something you said. It's about the bill, not something you said personally about the bill. Did I hear this correct, that the bill is going to start, listen to what I'm saying now, start reducing the top rate? The rich folks, all the folks got the big money, they get the cuts, and then we still got these folks down here telling we going to get to them later. It should be bottom coming up.
Time out. So in Alabama, Mr. Fulford, when would the top rate kicks in?
At $3,000 of earned income. So everything you earn above $3,000 for a single person, obviously for married college ones, you pay 5% of that amount. This is taking that 5% and lowering it down 4.95% over a period of time.
What's the income level that will fall into that? You said three to what?
Infinity.
Oh, just like I said. Well, a percentage up there per make $100,000. They gonna, whatever that percentage is, they gonna pay that less per dime. Make $100. They gonna pay that percentage less.
3,000, yeah.
Once again, how we gonna pay for stuff?
But I would
We
say
can't- most
of the taxpayers in Alabama are in that large nut. I think our median income, household income is 55,000, 52,000, somewhere in that range. So they're going to be the ones, the masses will get the benefit the most.
You think that's the case? I mean, I'm not talking about what you just said, but if you got, look at this. If you got 20% of the folks making $1 million, and you got
20% of the folks in our state.
I just said that. I'm giving an analysis,
All
not
right, all right.
accuracy of my information. and you got these folk down here making $5,000. Yeah, you average it average $55,000, but you got a whole clump of folks down here making but 5,000 that they're not going to see any kind of benefit at that level. They need to be at 4.5, and these folks need to stay where they are. That's what I'm saying. I mean, much is given, much is required. That's what the Bible said. So if you're given a lot, it's required of you to do a lot. And these people are not given a lot. So that's my concern, is that we really, what we really doing is giving that major break to the rich folk. That's what's really happening. So thank you.
Okay. We've got the amendment. I'll move to adopt the timing amendment. Is there a second? Second, Senator Gudger. Any discussion on the amendment? Any objection using the previous roll on the amendment, which is timing? And we're adding Senator Singleton. All right, seeing none, 16 ayes, 0 nays. The amendment is adopted. We're on the bill. And Senator Smitherman, I will say you are proving what I hope would happen, which was get feedback and input on these. So I appreciate your comments, and we'll see where we go with that. We're on the bill. Mr. Senator Roberts moves to favorable. Is there a second? Second, Senator Albritton. Any discussion? What do we want to do about a roll? The previous roll okay, or we want?
That's
Okay.
fine for now.
16 ayes, 0 nays. The bill is given a favorable report. Clerk, call the next bill.
Senate Bill 49 by Senator Orr.
Mr. Chairman,
Senator Smitherman.
when you get through,
Okay.
I'm going to move for favor.
Okay. This, last year, folks, on defined contribution plans, we took a big step and said, okay, first 6,000 is tax-free. What I'd like to suggest is that we consider taking that 6 to 10. You see the fiscal note, 13 million in perpetuity, more or less. This is for IRAs, 401ks, anybody who has that, the first 10,000 would be exempt. Now, if you got a defined benefit, it's already exempt. That would be public employees, state, county, wherever. Army, General Motors, anybody in a defined benefit plan. Any discussion? Is there a motion? Senator Roberts moves. Is there a second? Senator Hovey seconds.
I would like
Senator Smitherman.
to add a comment. I had made the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right.
That's all right. I know you didn't do it on purpose. I know that. So don't worry
Got
about
me.
it. It's all right. Keep it.
She destroyed that. So we got Senator Smitherman, Senator Hovey over there beside you. With all due respect, Senator Roberts. Any other discussion?
I just wanted to make one comment. Now,
Okay.
you heard what I said about the last one. Everybody heard that. I just said the opposite of this. You got folks on fixed income, inflation rolling. They don't get no more money, whatever this is that they got between Social Security and their retirement, and they trying to make a living. And anything we can do to help retirees, we need to do it. So I just wanted to make that comment.
Thank you. Any objection using the previous roll, which was unanimous? All right, seeing none, 16 ayes, 0 nays, bill's given favorable report. Now, if you'll indulge me for a few minutes or a few seconds, it won't take that long. I want to make a few comments and kind of lay out where I see things headed. So yesterday, I introduced the governor's budget, introduced the supplemental, introduced the rebate bill, introduced the pay raise bill, and I'm probably not, there's one more I believe that I introduced. We had other senators introduce the Lyman, what I'm going to call the Lyman Ward bill, the Talladega bill, and Tuskegee bill. And again, the last one is failing me. No. But were there 4? Yeah, so anyway, it's there if it was sent across the street. I ask you all.
No, when you get through,
I ask you all to study those closely. I'm certainly going through them. I got the four chairmen got private viewings on Thursday, but as far as really getting into the weeds, the time is now, and we'll certainly be going through them. I think as we go forward, we need to consider the governor's proposal for the rebate. I think tax cuts of some level are also something that we should consider to what we want to do. Do we want to do a combination? Do we want to do one? Do we want to do the other? Those are all up for discussion, and each of you have a role in that discussion. So that's something that we need to assess going forward. Also, I was disappointed, and we'll certainly be introducing a bill to create an education, what I'm going to refer to as a savings account. It's more complex than that because it's really a change in our Rolling Reserve Act, and it will create, though, a savings account for us to have. As I look forward down the pathway economically for us, I do get concerned that we don't have a vehicle in place that we can tap, or a fund that we can use if our revenues don't grow. And we have made commitments, be they Literacy Act, Numeracy Act, pre-K, other things that we want to keep moving the ball down the field and keep supporting, that if we hit a flat line in revenue or even a decline that doesn't year over year, where we are not in not away from here and we don't have a proration call, that we need to have a means to address and to supplement and come in and backfill just to keep education moving forward. So that bill will be forthcoming, and we'll certainly be filing that maybe even as soon as today, the savings account bill for us on the rolling reserve. Another thing I think we need to consider as a committee deals with what will improve education across this state. So as you look at the supplemental bill that was recommended by the governor and the budget, I would ask you to keep that in mind. What will put this state in a better place for education going forward? Because I think this committee, and probably do my quick math, 19 others would agree in our chamber that education is paramount to the success of our state in the future. And it is important to take our resources and make sure we are improving education, doing what we can where we sit going forward, and that we're not doing that job. That should be job one for us, particularly on this committee. How are we going to advance education down the field and improve education in our state? It's not just throwing money at it, it's also demanding accountability. So those are what I want you all to consider. As you have priorities in your areas and needs that you would like to see addressed, or if you are very supportive of decisions that were made across the street and you like particular actions that were taken, I would certainly like to hear those as well. We need to take a fresh look at decisions that were made or have been made, and then see how they comport with what we as a body want to do. And certainly there'll be some agreement, and certainly there will probably be some things that need to be worked out. So, Senator Smitherman, you've been burning with a question or a statement, so you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In the list of requests for consideration, you mentioned several of them that's coming before you, you have received already. You will be receiving another one, and the reason I chose this to say it here is because this is committee itself. You will be receiving a request for some assistance, one-time assistance for Birmingham Southern. I want to make a notice to everyone here. I'll say this. I asked the question of one of my colleagues, and I ain't gonna single them out. And it wasn't in my party, by the way. But I asked the question. I said, if Mr. Canfield came to you and told you that he could get you a business for your district that provided $30 million annually revenue every year, would you take it? They said, would I take it? I'd take it in a heartbeat. I said, well, in my situation, I got one providing $97.6 million every year. We don't save it. It's gone every year. Not bringing in one that ranked 30. We got one to do that. So I then began the conversation as to as it relates to, well, it's a private institution. We can't do so. So then I said, have you seen the statute that we have passed that says that this is appropriate to do this if the body so choose to do it? So I presented the statute to them. Then I presented to them the list of all the people we got in our budget who are private, and we're paying now on a yearly basis and there's just a private situation. And, I mean, we both have people in there who are private, you and I got the Southern Research, you got Apple. We got a bunch of folks in there I got the list. You know what it is. You the chairman. But I'm saying that to eliminate these excuses. Why? For in terms of these areas that they don't exist. We do it now. And so I wanted to bring that before everyone that I'm going to be presenting that as a one-time consideration in the supplemental for the body to consider so that we won't have to close this. If people ask me, well, what are they doing right now? They're working out, trying to, in a loan process for half of it as well. But still, we've got to give them some assistance. And so that will be coming for the consideration of the committee.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
Senator Singleton.
And
Again, sorry to hear that.
when are they supposed to close? And in fact, the only thing that's keeping us halfway alive now is what we are trying to do. Technically, the decision was supposed to be made on the 29th of this month. We have students that have got to get in school. So, I just want you to know ours is an immediate, right at the moment, our doors closed. And so I just wanted to say the urgency is severely there to do something.
Thanks, Senator. And certainly understand your interest in that institution. You and Senator Wagner over here being quiet, but I'm sure he seconds and amens. Okay. Any other discussion before we go? Again, timetable. Folks, I see, we have a break next week, and then we'll hit it hard and furious with budget. At least I'll be in the off week. And then as far as timing, I'm thinking third, fourth week of April, try to have the budget out of the Senate the end of April, at the very 1st of May, if possible. Chairman Garrett and I are working extremely well together. I would anticipate, at least today, that we're able to work out issues ahead of time, as opposed to just passing this is what the Senate wants and see what the House does, and then we meet in conference. Very good lines of communication between the chairman and myself, and see things very similarly, which is certainly going to be a positive going forward. So that being said, thank you for your time. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the floor. Thank you. We are adjourned.